there's gonna come a point, and I had that with Makai this year, where you just gotta take your hands off and let it. You did everything you could do. They're tired of you. You're tired of them. And go ahead, trust your work. We tell the kids, trust your work when they work out, right? Trust your work as a parent. Let them go ahead out there and do it their way, and you'd be surprised how many times they get it right. Sometimes that's what they needed to get away from us. Watch their movements, watch who they're around, make sure their grades, make sure their schoolwork. I'd say the biggest thing they could do is to go in parent portal once every 2 days.
Well, welcome to another episode of Recruiting from the Bleachers. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and today we have a phenomenal guest. I am so grateful to have him with us today. And if you're a parent or a student athlete looking for insider knowledge on how to navigate the recruiting process and secure that college scholarship, you do not want to miss this particular episode. He's not just a trainer. He is a mentor, a strategist, a game changer in the world of player development. His Hoops and Life Pro Skills training program has helped athletes sharpen their skills, earn scholarships, even make their way to the NBA. He's trained several collegiate athletes as well as NBA athletes. And before becoming a respected trainer, he had an impressive collegiate career himself, playing as a guard for Richmond and Hampton University, earning accolades like CAA Rookie of the Year and all MEAC honors. His firsthand experience competing at the collegiate level gives his unique perspective in what it takes to prepare young athletes for the next step. He also has a son who just signed a collegiate scholarship to a local university here in South Carolina. We're super proud of him and happy for him for that success. Let me say this as well. Basketball and sports runs in this family. Mr. Marcellus Brown has two brothers, Marco and Milan.
Yep, Morocco and Milan.
Morocco and Milan. Morocco works for the NFL with the Indianapolis Colts in the front office, and Milan is an assistant coach currently with the University of Pittsburgh. So I can imagine Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas sports conversation is probably off the chains.
Definitely.
That is good. That is phenomenal. So get ready to take notes, parents, as we sit down with Marcellus Brown, an international basketball trainer who knows exactly what it takes to get your athletes noticed, recruited, and ready for the next level. So let's jump in and welcome Coach Marcellus Brown. And for full disclosure, Marcellus Brown was instrumental in helping me and my wife and our daughter, Jordan Strange, to get scholarships. Jordan received 6 scholarship offers, chose to play for Georgia Southern University, and we thank Marcellus tremendously for helping her hone her skills on and off the court. I mean, talk about life and you talk about, how to play the game, but if you don't get along with people, it's hard to play this game. It's hard to be successful if you're not a team player, and basketball is a team sport. So we want to thank him while we've got this platform, I want to thank him for my wife and I. We want to thank Marseille personally for helping Jordan get those scholarships. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for trusting me with her. Y'all did all the work. I just helped a little.
You helped a whole lot. You said things I couldn't say. I just wasn't getting through on some aspects, but thank you again. We appreciate you.
No problem.
Before we jump into the questions that I've shared with you, let's talk a little bit about your passion to do training. You've been doing this for quite a while. We talked before we started recording here, and you've been doing this for quite a while. Marseille, what is your driving passion to continue to do this? What keeps you motivated to keep training student athletes?
I just it's my assignment, so to speak. Like I love basketball. I love competition, and through the way basketball took me through college, got me a scholarship, a degree. I know a lot of kids out here want the same things, and I went through a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, and I saw even more. So I just want to help them get through. I love to teach people how to do things, and I love to help people, mainly younger people. I don't want to see them make the same mistakes I did pretty much. And I want to teach them how to add to their game, how to get better at basketball and other things as well. Because when you're young, you can be under a lot of pressure. You can feel bad about yourself. You can put the work in and not get it what it is you want, and you can feel like a failure, get depressed. I've been in those stages, and I just kind of let them know it's all right. Everybody else is going through this as well. So I just try to give them some little hints and pointers on how to get what it is they want, or at least be comfortable if they don't.
Now, Marseille, we've had on recruiting from the bleachers some assistant collegiate coaches. We have had head coaches on as well, and all of them have come with the same theme when we talk about student athletes. And they all have said, be realistic about your child's skill set. And as a trainer, what are you looking for when you're training a student athlete? How are you gauging the skill set? Do you come to a point where you see their skill set and say, well, I don't know if they can go past this point? Tell me what you're seeing when you're working with someone for the first time.
Well, the first thing I look for, or I look at their feet. I train from the feet. I start there, and then I'll go forward from there. A lot of different kids want different things. Their goals are different. Some of them just want to make their teams. Some of them want to play in the NBA or the WNBA. So I have to gauge. I gauge what it is they're chasing, what their goal is, based on. Well, I gauge their improvement, where they can get based on their goal and their feet. And then from there, you see their commitment. Because a lot of times, and I try to tell, my goal is to teach them how to train themselves. 1 to 2 times a week with me is not enough. Not meaning they have to come 5 times a week. I'm just saying they have to do the work at home. If they really want to maximize their potential, you're going to have to stay at it at home. So I look at their work ethic, their commitment. Do they work hard? And if they don't, how do I teach them? How can I get through that they need to speed up and create the game speed? How do I get them to commit when they're not around me? Those type of things. And then to also translate that into their schoolwork or whatever it may be. And let them know, if you don't want to do this, you're not a loser, but you're going to have to do it at something in your life at some point.
That's good advice. Very good advice. Well, since you say that, how can parents support their child, their basketball journey without putting too much pressure on them? Because even when we were working out with you and we were on the AAU teams at that time, we could see the pressure on some of the girls that our daughter played with. What would you suggest parents do to help their student athlete get better? Because if they put too much pressure on them, I think the mental aspect of it becomes a barrier to jump over. So what things would you suggest that parents do to help their student athletes in their basketball journey?
I say earlier on, see if they actually love to do it. Like, really notice if they're just, is it fun? Do they practice on their own without you telling them? I will say this though, kids, they don't know what's best for them in their future. So you're gonna have to apply some pressure. Like, just like in the classroom, parents don't say, well, you don't have to study. I know you don't want to do it. Come on now. If I'm going to be paying $5,000 summer in hotel and travel fees, I need a return on that. And the return is not really you playing great. Are you working hard? Are you committing to the craft in some aspect? You might not be a Kobe. You might not have a Kobe Bryant work ethic, but I would just say, just see if they love it first. Is it fun for them? And from there, just urge them, just teach them what we all know. Hard work is gonna pay off. Sometimes you gotta go rebound for them when you got off your job and you're tired, but teach them how to do it themselves. And if they don't, then you see this might not be it. But if you can really gauge their talent and see that they're talented, that might be their ticket to college
True.
for free. College is expensive. That one might need to be pushed a little harder. If you have the money for college and you're not worried about it, then don't push them.
Marseille, what inspired you to do Hoops in Life, your pro basketball program that you have?
Just my experience as a basketball player, the positives, the negatives of being young and not thinking I'm good, or thinking I'm good, then finding out I'm not, then working to become better and passing all the people that were better, not all of them, but a lot. And finally, getting that offer and getting to the next level, then starting all over. Just going through that and knowing the mental strain that was there, knowing how fun it was. There's positives too. And just seeing these kids go through it, and parents. I talk to a lot of parents because I know how stressed they are.
Very,
But
very.
just seeing that and just knowing, having lived that, I just want to let you know everything's okay at the end of the day. At the end of the day, if Magic Johnson has a job, your kid's gonna get a job. So let's just get through this the best way we know how, and see what happens. Just let them know it's so stressful. It can be so stressful, and I like peace and joy, man. Like it's a lot of work, but let's get to the peace and joy part in the process.
Let me ask you this in reference to training and developing student athletes. You said you look for the feet and if they actually have a passion to play the sport. When you're talking with, well, let me ask this question first because it's something that's been on my mind lately. With the change that we're seeing with the NIL and the transfer portal, do you think recruiting of high school players is a thing of the past?
It's not a thing of the past at all, but it's definitely way different. They're not looking there first. They're looking at and it's not their fault. It's nothing egregious that the coaches are doing. They're trying to feed their families. So if they're constantly losing to 23 or 24-year-olds, like ready-made players that have already done 2, 3 full college basketball seasons, whose bodies are ready, who've mentally been through the strain, why would you take a younger player unless they're a superstar athlete? Like again, it's their livelihood. So I do see a change. I wouldn't say they're a thing of the past. It's but it's 100% tougher to get into college out of high school than it was for us.
Yeah. What could what could a high school athlete do to separate themselves from, let's say, a person that's played D2 or it's not D3 anymore, it's NAIA. If they've played there for you, what could a high school student do to separate themselves from the pack?
But I don't think the path has changed. You still work hard, get in the best shape of your life, play as hard as you can. The same things we did. Just play as well as possible, prepare as well as possible. And if they want you, they want you. But if they don't, I think they're still going to get on. Like those good players are still going to get to the next level. It just might be a level down. Like a kid that might go mid-major Division 1 might end up going Division 2. Take it. What we're about to see is high level Division 2 and NAIA and junior college basketball. That's what we're about to see because you're seeing them in the Final Four. Like, but it just takes a little longer. You'll be that old kid at some point if you don't give up. So just stick to it. Don't really, I mean, you're competing with them, but just compete with yourself. How much better can you get each day? Same thing they did before NIL. And then just let it take care of itself.
Okay, that's good advice. Do you think,
Coach,
say that again?
you need, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be less room. Like, you're going to have to present a good package now. Like, if they have this over here ready made and they're looking at you, I would make sure my grades are good. You don't have to chase that. They don't, because they're going to check your entire background. That's what they don't understand. They're going to know if you never went to school. They're going to know if you got in trouble. They're going to know if you yell back at your coach. They're going to know if you had an attitude problem. They're going to know if your parents always on the coach. So you want to be as as small of a hindrance as possible off the court. Like, just be somebody they don't need to worry about, and then take care of on the court. That might be your way in. This kid that's 23 years old gets in trouble, doesn't go to class, but you don't. But you're not as good. But oh, whatever, I'll take him. Less of a headache. I can trust him.
That wraps up another episode of Recruiting from the Bleachers. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and I appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to join us next week for another insightful conversation. Stay connected with us on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube at Recruiting from the Bleachers. Like, share, and follow to keep up with the latest updates. And don't hesitate to leave your comments and questions. We'd love to hear from you. For a deeper dive into the basketball recruiting process, check out our book, Basketball Recruiting, A Parent's Perspective, available now on Amazon.com. Parents, remember, from the bleachers to the big leagues to the boardroom, let's keep cheering and steering our student athletes towards success. We'll see you next time.